We are going to look at how to read Tudor writing. There were several different styles throughout the Tudor period. Secretary hand was used from the late Middle Ages until the early 18th century and dominated early modern manuscripts. Court hand was used throughout the 16th and 17th centuries in certain formal contexts. Following the Proceedings of Courts and Justices Act of 1730, secretary hand was abolished in court from 25th of March 1733. After this date, it was suggested that court proceedings should be written in common legible hand and character. It was also worth noting that there were two other styles of handwriting. These were italic, which was used from the 1500s to 1800s and is not too dissimilar to the writing we use today, and round hand, which was used from the 1800s and is still the letter shape we know today. Although different styles of handwriting were used in different periods, older styles continued to be used for certain types of documents, even when the handwriting fashion had changed. For example, in the 16th century, italic hand was made popular by Queen Elizabeth I. However, court hand was still in use for official documents. Therefore, it might be more useful to think of the different styles of handwriting connected to different documents. For example, early parish registers are often written in secretary hand. Title deeds and court roll are more likely to be in court hand, and early 19th century enclosure awards may be in late chancery hand. By the late 19th century, handwriting had become more individual as people learned to write. Before this date, a greater number of people could read than could write. It may also be useful to know that some styles became mixed, so we can describe somebody as having a mixed hand. When we start looking at paleography, it's useful to know some terms used to describe the different letter shapes. A bowl is a rounded bit of a letter, so letters with a bowl include the letters A, B, E, G, O and P. If you have a long stroke going upwards, this is known as an ascender, as in this letter L. If you have a long stroke going downwards, it's known as a descender, in this letter G. There may be a loop at the top of an ascender or at the bottom of a descender. Some letters could be ligatured together. This means they were merged in a way that not all of the letter is shown. This happens with the letters which are commonly found together. So for example, the T is just an additional curve joined onto the H. The SH, the S is a precursive to the loop of the H. Other ligature letters include the CH. You may find some letters have a stroke going across them. This is known as a crossbar and sometimes connects one letter to the other. In this example, the letter K is connected to the letter I by a crossbar. Another term is a minim. These are short vertical lines seated on and rising from the line of writing. An M or an N may have a number of minims. These are connected by connecting strokes to form the letter. If there are a lot of minims together, the writer would include a long form minim. This was to show that this was the last minim. This was used for both numerals as well as text. We can see this in the word Amen and in the number 4. When the writer was changing from text into numerals, they would often put a figure to indicate the change. You can see that in this inventory we've got here, where we are changing from items listed into the numerals. So you can see the word salts, then we've got this figure, then you have 2 minims indicating the number 2 and a shilling sign, and then you've got a fee and 3 minims, followed by a D for pence, indicating that there were 8 pence. The terminal position describes the last letter of a word. So we can see in this example here, you've got the N for amen in the terminal position. An attacking or leading stroke is the line going up to a letter, leading to writing that letter. A diagnostic letter is one which is distinctive to that style of writing. It can be used to inform the reader that the writing is of that particular style. For example, in secretary hand, this is the single bold A, this particular style of E, a flat top G, this particular style of H, and a bucket R. For court hand, this is the double bold A, a figure of 8 G, a long form R, and this particular style of S.